today during our country drive, we're going to be talking about how when you are young, you get into things thinking, hey, this is the best thing ever. This is the next shiny object in the room that you're going to pursue, and you're all into it. And then things happen. You go down the road of your life and you realize whatever you thought you were doing, you're not going to do it. Either you don't have the wherewithal, whether that be the time or the money or the skill or just the downright gumption even. Sometimes we get into some projects that we think we're gonna get all gung-ho and dig into it, then we just realize that's just not for us. One example for me would be when I was in high school. Of course, I was all into cars, reading about them, looking at them, thinking about them, watching car shows, whether that was, way back, all old car shows, like Knight Rider, Dukes of Hazzard, maybe Chips. Definitely was a car show, even though it was a drama. And anyway, talked my dad into helping me to go get a project car. And what was that project car? You might have heard in prior videos. I'll put one up here in case you want to go back there and check that one out, where we went down to Chattanooga and checked out a 1965 Chevrolet Corvair two-door coupe. It wasn't a really special one. It was kind of a run-of-the-mill model, but at the time it was a car, and I was getting it. I think I bought it for about $300 at the time, and we had to tow it home, and because it did not run, it was a project from the start. I don't even know what ended up being wrong with it, because I got into working on it and didn't quite know what I was doing. Could turn wrenches and fix some things, but it needed an engine overhaul, and I believe it needed a transmission rebuild, transaxle I should say, on those. But that was a little over my head. So what do you do when you're a young high school student? You're kind of want to do something, but you're kind of out of your element, but you could do something if there was some way to sort of bridge the gap, the knowledge gap, or the ability gap, I guess. Well, if you have a dad that can do that with you, that'd be good. Some dads are more apt than others to get in there and do that kind of thing. Most dads are not really to the level of rebuilding engines. They can fix cars usually, but not heavy duty stuff. So, so my dad he was good. He was a really capable person, but at that time he was deep into a career of running a department at a local business. And so he had, a lot of responsibilities that were outside of the home, and I don't think we really did much as far as, you know, teamwork on that car. So it was up to me. I do know he tried to get me in touch with other people that were capable of doing that kind of thing, that could show me what to do. But I was not, say, the type of personality or the temperament to go basically bend someone's ear and have them go through with me how to do something per se, to get over the hump of me not even knowing which place to start. Of course, back in that day there was no YouTube or internet, but that's really not an excuse, because there's really, you know, there was manuals and other things you could use, resources to do that kind of thing, I'm sure, but it was not quite as user-friendly as it might be nowadays. But I'm not gonna go there, because I think it was more due to my own inability to just reach out and do what I had to do to get that car going. So it languished under the carport, you know, basically gathering dust and putting up with me coming around every now and then to act like I'm now going to actually do something with it. So, long story short, or should I maybe say short story long, which is usually what happens here on these rides, I ended up selling that car later on, probably my junior or senior year in college, to somebody that was in the same town where I was co-oping for my engineering intern position, and they were interested in that, so I sold it to them for, guess what? The amount I sold it for was $300, the same amount that I paid for it probably 6 years earlier or so. So at least I got my money out of it, but it still languished there in the carport all those years, taking up space and probably making my dad wonder what the deal is with when I'm going to actually get in there and do something with that thing, because it's not like he was holding me back or anything. They were all gung-ho for me to do whatever I had to do, but for some reason I was just not able to get off top dead center to get that thing done. So that was my first car experience. Does anybody out there have the same type of experience? Have any of you had a gumption or had a notion that you're gonna get some sort of a, maybe it needs work, maybe it doesn't, you're gonna be that guy that's gonna go and make that thing shine? Well, if you are one of those folks, let me know. Put down in the comments where you're from, where you grew up, maybe, and then also what car you actually ran into getting when you were young and tried to get going, and whether you were successful in that or not, and how it turned out. Not only how did the car turn out, but how did you turn out during that process? Did you end up learning anything from that? Or did you go away feeling like a failure? I guess guess in my case, I didn't feel too much like a failure because that was toward the end of my college stint, so I was feeling okay about progress in life, but definitely not about my progress in skill to fix a car. So anyway, for whatever that's worth there. Also, go ahead and subscribe so you can be part of this discussion, part of these interesting narratives that we have going